Hello everybody, welcome to another Making Monday Lovable video. Continuing with a little series that I decided to do on the important aspects of becoming a scientific illustrator. I started off with explaining the importance of a really strong basis, a really strong root, how you ground yourself into what you actually want and how you want it while becoming a scientific illustrator. Last week I talked about the importance of why it is essential that science, emotions and feelings and creativity are coupled. And today I wanted to talk about the technical details. And I'm checking a little bit on my notes. So all the last 2 weeks, I feel like it's all building up. And it is strengthening your core, your competences, and your way of basically asserting yourself into the world. It strengthens your will, how you want to do it, why you want to do it, and to be as efficient as possible as well. It's about, you believing in yourself and your capabilities on all kinds of levels, and couple such different fields into one, and then serve the world. And how to do that, and the very practical skills in how to do that when being a scientific illustrator is with certain technical skills. I'm often getting asked like, oh, what kind of software do you use, and which kind of program, software is programs, but hardware, and so on and so forth. And sometimes people think they need to have a certain degree, they need to have fulfilled studies, or they need to do another bachelor or master, all these kinds of things. So I myself am a scientist, educated as a scientist, studied biology, then did my PhD in plant biology, and then started my journey to become a scientific illustrator. And I've always been an artist in my whole life, and then during my PhD I realized I can couple these two. So I have no official artistic education, and I personally don't think it's necessary. It could be good if you feel like you want to brush up on something, or if you have no artistic skills, then it's essential for you to get them one way or another, whether you practice yourself or you teach and do a course or study. But the technicalities of a scientific illustrator are the technical details of being and knowing what it means to be a scientist and think like that, and be able to understand how scientists think. That's a technical skill, but also a very intuitive skill. And when you have done your PhD, for example, you know these things already. And then it comes to the artistic technicalities. You need to pick what do you want to use to make scientific illustrations. Which softwares do you want to use? Maybe you've encountered already some during your PhD or your studies that you feel already comfortable with. So I would suggest go for them, because it actually is irrelevant. Whatever software you want to use, CorelDRAW, Illustrator, Paint, I don't care. Well, Paint I wouldn't recommend, but it doesn't matter. As long as you know how to use this software, as long as you're really confident in it. You don't need to learn all of them. There's no point for it. It's a waste of time, your time, resources, everything. It will not add the value. It would just make you become delayed in the process of actually becoming a scientific illustrator and delivering work, because you feel like, oh, I need to learn this other thing before I can. No. If you know one software, let's say I would recommend one vector program and one raster pixel-based program. That's that. And you pick and choose whatever it is you want. You don't need to have 3 of each. And then you just practice on this, with this software, over and over again. On all the projects, if you don't have any yet, you do come up with ideas yourself. You just practice, because practice makes perfect. If you feel like, oh, there's a certain style that I want to learn, yeah, maybe do a course or just practice it. It's nothing wrong to be a self-taught artist and nail it. You can totally do that. If you couple it to science, it's most likely 95% better than any scientist that have no artistic skills. And then I would recommend to have and use a graphic tablet, any that you can afford, really, whatever fits your budget. It doesn't have to be the newest, most fancy Wacom tablet that you can stand and it's like huge and you can do all the things with it when you know that you will just use 3 functions. Just look, be really realistic and know, okay, that's what I have as my budget, time limit, whatever. This is until then, and then I have to deliver something and I just have this budget available, so I just get that one and I go from there. A graphic tablet is of huge importance because then you will also have a graphic pen. Oh, let me see. Here. That's, oh wait. Where is my, yeah, this one. This is my Wacom pen for my Wacom tablet, but I also have an iPad, and so I have an iPen as well. To draw like this makes a huge difference compared to using a mouse or this tab. You will get cramps in your fingers, hands and arms. It will become really unpleasant. So you just basically pick and choose what you want to use, and you get really comfortable and confident in it. And usually I have had nobody that asked me about any official certifications, artistic certifications, or certifications whether I have completed a certain program and know how to use it. Nobody has asked that ever. So if you feel like you need to do it for whatever reason, do it. But try to not get lost into getting certificate after certificate, studies after studies, and course after course to just accumulate these kind of things that you can throw on the CV, because nobody asks about the CV as well either. Especially not when you start your own company and you become a freelancer, like this in my case. So maybe when you want to apply somewhere where they look for scientific illustrators, they might look at it. So that's another thing that you need to know then, where you want to go, which should be covered in your base, how you want to approach everything. So yeah, this is basically about today. Did I forget anything? Yeah, and what is really important, once you've decided on these things, try to become as confident as possible, as secure as possible with your skills, your technical knowledge, and your capabilities with these programs and what you can create with them. The illustrations that you will make and give to the clients. Because that will make the whole process way more enjoyable. You won't have so many doubts. They might come up here and there. You have a project, you don't really know what to do, how to do it. Well, then you Google it, because you have a really good base on knowing how this program works, and then you can look at tutorials. It's always good. If I forget a function that I don't usually use so often, then I just Google it and see within the 5 minutes I find a tutorial that helps me. So you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know all the tools of a program either. Just use those that bring you where you want to go and learn along the way when you have a new project. Be as confident as you can be, and expand bit by bit, because you will already know, and way more than any other scientist. So, any only scientist, when you are one that wants to become a scientific illustrator, because that's what we're assuming here now. So yeah, that's that for today. I hope that was valuable. I wish you a nice Monday and a great week ahead, and talk to you next week. Bye bye.